Hey Jackie, Auntie, Jackie, you ready? When the clouds roll.
In life, sometimes it's so important for us to stop and pause and begin to make an assessment, or even ask ourselves some really important questions. Ask ourselves some questions about where we are, where we desire to be, what's working, what's not working. And I just want to share a short story about what it takes and how it works and helps to begin to ask yourselves some questions. I can remember working on a project thinking that it was going to be amazing. I did all the things that I was taught to do to prepare for this particular event. On the day of the event, what happened? It was only one person that showed up. And in the beginning, I felt really disappointed. I felt like I had failed. But then I have a coach, and she began to share with me the value, even if it's just one person, how impactful that can be. Because who knows who's connected to that very person that will cause them to bring other individuals into your circle to help you continue to push and move towards the dream and the desires that you already have. So sometimes when we stop and we ask ourselves those very important questions, it helps us to be able to move forward. In the beginning, I was afraid to schedule another event because I was afraid that I was going to fail. I was afraid that I would be rejected. And then I was afraid of the judgment that would take place for trying to do this again. But again, as I began to sit in those questions, it helped push me. It helped me to think about what I really wanted, the reason why I was doing the thing that I was doing, the reason why I desired to have women, to see women lives be transformed, to see women be able to be all that they were created and destined to be. And as I began to discover my why and sit in those questions, it helped me to be able to move forward and do the thing that I believe that I was destined and called to do. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about that, how we can navigate in the value in asking ourselves some really important questions. Sit back and begin to think about how this can connect in your life. Did you know there's some bold moves that you can make that would change everything? Now let's dive right on in. What bold move would you make right now, this very moment, if fear of failure, if fear of rejection, even if fear of judgment wasn't holding you back? Now, I'm not asking this question lightly because this question, it forces us to get real, to get really real with ourselves. Now, maybe it could be leaving a job that had been draining you, or it could be finally saying yes to that thing that you've been swallowing for years. Or maybe it's letting yourself begin to dream bigger than life you're living. Dreaming bigger even than the life that you're living. Now here's the thing. No one says fear isn't the villain, but fear, it's the gatekeeper. And it's the bold move that you are terrified to make that's the key to unlocking who you are meant to be. Can you believe it? That is so amazing. The fear that we're holding on to, it's the key to unlocking the thing that you desire to be. Now let's begin to peel back some of the layers when it comes to fear. And we've all been trained to believe that to avoid failure, to avoid rejection, and even judgment, like this was something deadly, like it was a deadly plague. But let's flip that. Failure, it's not the end, it's redirection. It shows us what's not for us so that we can be clearer about the things that are for us. Now, rejection, it's not about you, it's about alignment. It's about the wrong doors closing and making space for the right doors to open. Now, judgment. Most people are too wrapped up in their own fears to even truly, for real, judge you. When they do that, it's more about them than it really is about you. So if fear is inevitable, why not choose to move through it instead of letting it, allowing it to paralyze us, to keep us from moving forward, to keep us from operating in the very thing that we know that we were destined to be and that we were destined to do. So let's bring it all together. Here's where it all connects. If you remember, in the previous 2 videos, I talked about figuring out what feels aligned and what feels forced in your life. Then we talked about what it would look like to trust ourselves fully in pursuing the life that you really want. So when it comes to alignment, it shows us where we're kind of out of sync with our true, authentic self. Now, trust, it kind of gives us the strength to begin to take the first step. So today, we're talking about the bold moves that brings it all to life. These 3 pieces are a cycle. Alignment, it lights the way. Trust, it pushes you forward. So bold moves, it begins to break the cycle of fear and begin to create the freedom to align again. Now, it's not about being perfect, timing, or having it all figured out, but it's about taking those messy, courageous actions and letting everything else begin to fall into place. Does that sound like something you're ready to do? If so, I want to begin to challenge you. Here's my challenge for you. And we want to begin to make this personal. Make it personal for you. I want you to begin to think about an area in your life that feels misaligned. Begin to write it down and ask yourself, what would trust in yourself look like at this very moment? Then begin to name one bold move that will cause you to align with your true self. And then begin to take one small step toward it today, right now. Now, you don't have to take a big leap, but you have to start. And courage is really not about eliminating fear, but it's about choosing to move through it all. Choosing to move forward through it all. Choosing to move forward in spite of the fear, in spite of the judgment, in spite of us, whatever that emotion that you're feeling. So I want you to begin to sit back and think about where you want to go, what you want to do, and no longer allow fear to be the thing that stops us. Now, remember, we talked about asking those very important questions that will help us to be able to discover where we are and where we want to be. So I want you to begin to think about that for yourself. You don't necessarily have to use the questions in this video or the other 2 previous videos. Begin to think about the questions for your life. What questions do you need to ask yourself to help push you forward so that you can begin to live the life that you've always dreamed of, that you've always desired? I want you to know that it is possible for you. So until next time, continue to dream big. Continue to dispel the fear and the doubt, but continue to live bold, fulfilled, and free. Take care.